Welcome to NARPM Radio, your source for property management practices and ideas to help your career, delivered to fit your busy schedule. NARPM Radio. Get tuned in.
The lease is up, the tenant has vacated, but money is still owed. Your former tenant is telling you that he will pay. What form do you use? My name is Harry Heiss, and I'm the founding partner of Heiss, Weiss & Wolk, the property manager's partner. When a tenant vacates owing you money, sometimes you will be able to get the tenant to agree that they owe this amount, and there's a discussion as to payment arrangements. Put that arrangement in writing. If not, any promises that are verbally made are really useless. Look at this scenario. The tenant vacates, and there's a large utility bill still unpaid. It exceeds the security deposit that you're holding. There's damages that exceed the security deposit that you're holding. You never got the last month's rent. They didn't pay the last month's rent. Certain tenants are really good people. They want to pay their debts. They want to keep their credit clean. You'll have emails, you'll have phone conversations, you'll have letters with these tenants. But all of these are basically useless unless the proper form is used. This form is called the promissory note. This is where the debtor promises to pay the amount on the form. How much is owed is clearly listed, how it will be paid, the dates and the amounts. And most importantly, the promissory note states what is owed if the tenant, the debtor now at this point, misses a payment or stops paying. A common mistake that is made is that the debtor, your former tenant, and you agree on amount that's owed. You agree on a schedule of payments. Maybe it's $1,000 that they owe you and they're going to pay you $200 a month for a certain period of time. 1 month goes by and you get the money. Second month goes by, you get the money. Third month goes by and they stop paying. How much does the debtor owe you at that moment? Well, they only owe you the amount of that payment that you agreed on, not the full balance that the debtor owes you. So the amount you can go after, so to speak, or the amount you could sue for is not the full amount. It's only the missed payment amount. If you don't use a promissory note, you don't have what's called acceleration. You want to have a situation where if the tenant stops paying you, the debtor stops paying you, you can accelerate that amount that's owed. And then you would be able to sue, if you chose to do so, you would be able to sue for the whole amount. The balance. A promissory note accomplishes a lot of things. It lists the parties, it lists who the creditor is, it lists the debtor, the amount owed, the payment plan, but most importantly, it states what will happen if a payment is missed, and that the whole balance will be owed in the situation of a default. This is very important because if you were to sue or send to collections, most often it's sent to collections, especially by apartment communities, you will be able to send the entire balance that is owed. If not, if no promissory note is in place, you can't send that whole balance if you've already made some kind of deal with the debtor as for paying. Couple items to note. Just because you have a promissory note, that doesn't mean the debtor's going to pay you. It just sets you up in case you want to sue or send to collections later. Do not, and I really stress this, do not use a promissory note for a current tenant. If a current tenant owes you money, you're going to use a different form. It's called the past due amounts workout agreement, not the promissory note. That item is covered in a separate video. What are your action items now? Well, you're going to download the promissory note. Read it carefully, understand what it says and what it does. Make sure it's filled out properly. Make sure it's accurate, signed, and witnessed. Don't have high expectations that just because someone signed a promissory note, you're going to collect the money. Often you won't be able to, but at least you will have something in writing. You'll be able to accelerate the amount that's owed, and you will be able to potentially sue for the amount that is owed. If you're not sure what to do, call us or email us. A legal document that's filled out incorrectly could be worse than no document at all. If you have any questions regarding this topic or any other topic that we discuss, please feel free to email us at info@evict.com.
Thanks for listening to NARPM Radio. For more details on today's subject, refer to the show notes or visit narpm.org. Subscribe to NARPM Radio through iTunes or Podbean and get alerted to new recordings. We'll see you next time on NARPM Radio.